I got a question on Tumblr from someone wanting to know more about the grape harvesting experience I had earlier this year. If you're interested in following my Tumblr, there's a link in the description down below. Firstly, I want to say that the pay is minimum wage, so don't expect to be able to say, fuck the shit, I'm going to Thailand anytime soon. Minimum wage here in France is just a tad over 11 euros per hour, but the cost of living is also high. So what I can say is you rock up at work at 7:45 in the morning and you go home at 4 to 6 in the evening, depending on the amount of work scheduled for the day. This is at least for the specific place I was working at. The lunch break at noon was an hour and there was food and drink available. There was also a 15-minute breakfast break after about 90 minutes of work. And if you're vegan and you don't mind the cross-contamination, then you can eat the rice, but I just brought my own food along and ate once for the lunch break while I was having a big breakfast at home before leaving. I just bring pasta with arrabbiata in a Tupperware for lunch. And my workplace was 15 kilometers from my house, so each day was a 30-kilometer bike commute, so the fitness didn't drop. So with the actual job, you get into a van and you drive to several different locations throughout the day with your noisy workmates. And it didn't bother me because I understood they have to make noise and tell corny jokes among each other to stay sane. As for me, I just kept to myself and turned on the What on Earth is Happening podcast. The locations were usually close together, but sometimes we drove up to 10 kilometers to get to the next vineyard. So once you're there, it's basically just teamwork. You cut the grapes and you make sure they haven't decayed to the point where they smell like vinegar. Once your bucket is full, you pass it on to the people in the adjacent row, and you also carry the other buckets of your workmates and pass the empty buckets to them so the cycle starts again. And that's really all there is to it. Even if you're a slow cunt, the other workers will cut your section, but I wasn't the slowest cunt and I didn't mind helping the other people. I definitely wasn't the fastest cunt either. I saw one chick with some mad acrobatic skill getting into like a ninja split position, filling up 2 buckets in the time I filled one, and she only worked part-time though. I called her champion. Because people hate themselves so much, there will always be smokers, so just stay away from the smokers unless you hate yourself too. Then by all means, suck it in, bro. If you're like me and pissed like a racehorse, then this job is pretty good for that, as you can always abandon your bucket for a quick slash in an empty row. Some rows are short and others are long, and you cannot predict how many rows you will clear on a given day. Just know that it will be over when it's over, and keep the podcast on only in one ear so that you can hear when people want a bucket. And finally, I made sure to cover up so I didn't get sunburn. I wish I was at least Asian so I could work shirtless in the midday sun, but it is what it is. If there are 50 shades of white, I'm definitely in the top 10. So that's really all there is to it. Oh, and of course, the type of grape harvesting, or vendange as they call it here in France, that I was doing was for making wine. The problem in this life is not work itself, but rather what are we working for and what is the purpose of our work. If we are working for just money, we are slaves. If money is working for us, we are kings. If we don't need money, we are gods.